Hello everyone, this tarot reading is focusing on what repeating behaviour is ready to shift. So we've got the Page of Swords, the King of Wands, the Emperor, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Wands. So I'm just going to ramble on because I'm picking up, I'm noticing things that I want to say that I'm noticing, and then I'll kind of get to the point. So the first thing that I'm noticing really, I feel is important, is how everybody's looking at the past, okay? The Page of Swords, the King of Wands, the Nine of Wands, they're all looking at the past. And even with the Emperor, now this is what's interesting, okay? Because yes, he is sitting in what you class as the present, but if you actually look, I'm going to bring it closer, but if you actually look at his eyes, they're not fully focused forward, okay? One eye is looking more to the past. Sorry, it's not focusing. Yeah, one eye is looking more to the past, and the other one is trying to stay present or even look more to the future. Now, that's not a mistake. That's not an error by the artist. That's intentionally done, okay? So, again, really, there is another card that's linking to the past. So we're starting to see a clear pattern here of the past, okay? Being mentally and emotionally, I would say, tied to the past. Now, another thing that I'm seeing and acknowledging is this very strong masculine energy, okay? Regardless if you're male or female, there is this masculine energy, okay? This is an extremely strong energy. This is a leadership. This is a boss. This is an entrepreneur energy. This is somebody who is extremely confident, makes things happen. The King of Wands and the Emperor together, goodness me, that is a very, very powerful combination, okay? That is somebody who is powerful. That is somebody who makes shit happen, who stands in their power, okay? This is somebody who can take charge, who can build something, who can be extremely successful. But I do feel like this isn't fully expressed, okay? Then you've got the Page of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Now, this is kind of where the energy shifts, okay? Because I'm picking up on a few things and I kind of want to address it all. The Page of Swords is this energy of where you are just overthinking, analysing and questioning everything. Very, very, very much in your head, okay? A lot. Watching more than doing, okay? And also an energy of being extremely critical of yourself. You know how I'm saying, like, I'm noticing the past? Another thing that I'm really picking up on is withholding. You're withholding yourself, okay? With the moving on. With the Nine of Wands, this is extremely tired, guarded, cautious energy. Like, you have been through a lot. So now, my darling, you are very guarded. You are very hesitant. You are very reluctant to, I don't know, you just, yeah, again, withholding yourself back, okay? Unsure if you want to take the next steps, yeah? And it's really interesting because I'll say this way of me looking at it, and then I'll tell you another way that I'm looking at it. But when I was meditating on the cards, I kind of got a flashback of the place that I used to work. So I used to run a pub, but there was a guy that actually owned the pub, yeah? And the guy that owned it, he had everything needed to be successful, or for the pub to be to succeed, okay? He had the knowledge, he had the money, he had the position, he had the resources, he knew the right people, okay? But he was extremely hesitant to make changes. It was really frustrating. It was just because I had to think outside the box with that one. But he would be the person that would have the same band that has been playing for 20-30 years, the same quiz guy that did the same quiz 20 for 30 years, the same person, yeah? The same setup, the same food, even when everything was clearly needed refreshing, it wasn't, okay? He was really reluctant on making change, and it was a battle with him, because how you need more you want more customers, you want more money, you're going to have to make change. You're going to have to make some changes here for sure. The reason why he was like that was because of the past. The decisions he had made before hadn't worked out. So it made him very reluctant, almost very fearful of changing anything. But at the same time, when he did make a decision, it would be extremely impulsive, not thought through properly. There was a part where he spent something like £12,000, £13,000 on a fake cherry blossom tree. in the marquee where nobody went into, and the guys that used to go to the pub were males. So they were not interested in a cherry blossom tree. Like, they would have been happier for a bigger TV, do you know? Something. So it was like he'd make silly moves like that, very impulsive, spend a lot of money on something that didn't actually fit or benefit the business in any way, okay? So he was very stuck in this pattern, holding back out of fear, then acting impulsively, then going back into that hesitation again. And that's because obviously it just didn't work out for him. Whenever he did make a very impulsive move, it didn't really go in his favour. So he was very hesitant on making moves. That's one way of that's what I'm picking up with part of this reading, but there is another way that I'm also picking up. I feel also what happens, okay, is you overthink, you analyse, and you hesitate. And then when you do act, you try to control everything. Make sure it goes a certain way. Keep everything in check. And then if something feels off, you go straight back into being guarded again. Okay? So again, yes, it's a little bit different to the other way that I'm picking up, but it becomes this cycle. So it's like thinking too much, holding back, then trying to control, then pulling back again. And that's that repeating behaviour that's really ready to shift, my darling. Because you don't need to keep looking at the past to move forward. And you do not need to stay in your head to feel safe. And you do not also need to control everything just to trust yourself, my darling. The shift here is actually quite simple. It's trusting yourself enough to move forward without overthinking it. And without also needing everything to be perfect or certain, my darling. I feel you, my lovely, already have the power, the leadership, the capability. That is not the issue at all. The only thing that's really holding you back is the part of you that's still, I would say, trying to protect yourself based on what's already happened, okay? So once you, my darling, let that go, that's when you stop holding yourself back and actually move forward properly. And that's where the real change happens, okay? So I hope that's made sense. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.